Sometimes the people who mock your beginning become the first to beg at your ending. Once upon a time, in a gleaming corporate tower that pierced the gray skyline of a bustling city, there sat a young man named Marcus Chen, 27 years old, drowning in fluorescent light and dying dreams. His cubicle was a beige prison. His job title, Junior Data Analyst, felt like a sentence. And his soul, once bright with ambition, had begun to dim like a candle starved of oxygen. But Marcus carried a secret. Every lunch break, while his colleagues gathered in the cafeteria to gossip and scroll through their phones, Marcus disappeared. He'd take the elevator down 17 floors, walk 3 blocks to a cramped studio apartment he could barely afford, and spend exactly 43 minutes sketching, planning, dreaming. On his walls hung printouts, diagrams, and photographs. In his laptop lived a folder labeled simply, The Project. Marcus wanted to build an app, not just any app, but a platform that would revolutionize how freelancers in developing countries connected with opportunities. He'd grown up watching his immigrant parents struggle to find work, watching talent wasted because geography determined destiny. His vision was beautiful, ambitious, and to everyone around him, absolutely ridiculous. The laughter started on a rainy Tuesday afternoon in March. Marcus had been working on his project quietly for 3 months when the secret slipped. During a team meeting, his manager asked everyone to share something they were passionate about outside of work. It was meant to be a team-building exercise, superficial and forgettable. But when Marcus's turn came, something inside him cracked open. Perhaps it was exhaustion, perhaps it was hope, perhaps it was simply the human need to be seen. He told them. He explained his vision, the platform, the mission, the potential to change lives. For 30 seconds, he spoke with fire in his voice, painting pictures of opportunity and impact. His eyes shone. His hands moved with purpose. And when he finished, there was silence. Then someone snickered. It was Derek, the senior analyst, a man whose greatest accomplishment was attending the same company for 8 years without promotion or purpose. His snicker became a chuckle. His chuckle infected others. Soon the entire conference room rippled with poorly concealed amusement. An app? Derek said, not even trying to hide his condescension. Do you know how many apps fail? Do you know how saturated that market is? Come on, Marcus, be realistic. The manager smiled awkwardly and moved on to the next person. But the damage was done. That moment, those few seconds of communal mockery, would echo through the coming months like a recurring nightmare. Words spread through the office with the speed of wildfire. By week's end, Marcus had become a joke. People called him Zuckerberg in passing, their voices dripping with sarcasm. Someone left a printed meme on his desk showing a man dreaming of success while drowning in bills. The break room conversations would quiet when he entered, then erupt in whispers when he left. He told his girlfriend about the project one evening over dinner. She looked at him with a mixture of pity and frustration. Marcus, I love you, but this is childish. We're trying to save for a house. You're barely making enough as it is. This fantasy, it's not going to pay our bills. She left him 2 weeks later. She said it was about compatibility, about different life goals. But Marcus knew the truth. She couldn't stand being with someone the world viewed as a fool. His parents were no better. When he visited for his mother's birthday, his father pulled him aside. Son, he said in Mandarin, his weathered hands gripping Marcus's shoulders. We came to this country so you could have stability. We worked in factories so you could work in offices. Why are you throwing this away for a dream? Even his college roommate, James, the one person Marcus thought would understand, laughed when Marcus pitched the idea over beers. Dude, you're not a tech entrepreneur. You're a data analyst. Stick to your lane. The world had rendered its verdict. Marcus Chen was a dreamer, a fool, a cautionary tale waiting to happen. But inside the quiet of that cramped studio apartment, under the harsh glow of a desk lamp, something hardened in Marcus's chest. It wasn't anger. It was something colder, more refined. It was determination forged in the furnace of humiliation. The next 3 years were a descent into beautiful agony. Marcus stopped trying to convince anyone. He stopped sharing his progress. He became a ghost at work, present but absent, his body in meetings while his mind coded algorithms and mapped user experiences. He arrived at the office at 9, or he left at 5, and then his real work began. From 6 in the evening until 2 in the morning, Marcus lived in a different world. He taught himself advanced programming through free online courses. He watched thousands of hours of tutorials. He joined forums where developers helped each other debug code at midnight. His fingers developed calluses from typing. His eyes grew permanently red. His diet consisted of instant ramen, black coffee, and an occasional apple when he remembered that his body needed vitamins. The first version of his app crashed during beta testing. 2 months of work, gone. He sat in his apartment that night, staring at error messages on his screen, and felt something close to despair. But he didn't quit. He started over. The second version worked, but was clunky, unattractive, unusable. The 15 people who downloaded it all deleted it within a day. Marcus read their reviews. Each criticism was a small knife. Garbage interface, pointless concept, waste of time. He absorbed every word, then rebuilt from scratch. Money became a constant, crushing pressure. His savings evaporated. He moved to a cheaper apartment in a dangerous neighborhood. He sold his car and took buses. He stopped buying anything that wasn't absolutely necessary. When his laptop finally died, he spent a week's salary on a used replacement that overheated and shut down randomly. At work, he was passed over for promotion. Twice. Younger analysts who joined after him climbed the ladder while he remained frozen in place. His colleagues barely remembered his name. He was furniture, wallpaper, invisible. But the invisibility became his armor. In year 2, Marcus released version 3.0 of his platform. This time something clicked. The interface was clean. The algorithm worked. The value proposition was clear. He spent his last $200 on targeted ads in Kenya and the Philippines. Then he waited. The first real user signed up on a Wednesday, then 3 more on Thursday. By Saturday, he had 47 active users. It wasn't viral growth. It wasn't investment worthy, but it was real. People were actually using something he'd built. He cried that night, deep, shaking sobs of relief and exhaustion. Year 3 brought the pivot. Through conversations with his users, Marcus discovered something he hadn't anticipated. Freelancers didn't just need connection, they needed education, mentorship, and micro-credentialing. So he rebuilt the platform again, adding features for skill verification, peer learning, and reputation building. This version was different. This version was alive. Users started referring friends. A blogger in Nigeria wrote about it. A freelance community in Indonesia adopted it. Growth was slow but steady. 100 users became 500. 500 became 2,000. Marcus watched the numbers climb each night like a father watching his child take first steps. He started receiving messages, testimonials, a single mother in Manila who landed her first major client through his platform, a graphic designer in Nairobi who tripled his income, a translator in Dhaka who quit her factory job because she could finally make a living from her skills. These messages sustained him more than food. But even as his platform grew, Marcus remained a ghost in his old life. Nobody at the office knew. Nobody in his family asked. He'd become the forgotten man, the one who'd foolishly chased a dream and presumably failed quietly. Then came year 4, the year everything changed. A venture capitalist in Singapore stumbled across Marcus's platform while researching emerging markets. She saw what Marcus had built, not just the technology, but the community, the impact, the ethical infrastructure. She reached out. They talked for 3 hours. 2 weeks later, she offered him seed funding. Not a fortune, but enough. Enough to quit his job. Enough to hire a small team. Enough to scale. Marcus handed in his resignation on a Friday afternoon. His manager barely looked up. Derek didn't even say goodbye. 5 years after that rainy Tuesday when the laughter began, Marcus stood in a modern office space with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the same city that had once felt like a prison. His platform now served over 200,000 freelancers across 43 countries. Revenue was climbing. Impact was measurable. Lives were changing. He'd made it. But the universe has a strange sense of poetry. The first email arrived on a Monday. It was from Derek. The subject line, "Long time, would love to reconnect." Marcus opened it with curiosity. Derek's message was casual, breezy, as if they'd been friends. He mentioned he'd heard through the grapevine about Marcus's success. He wondered if Marcus needed any experienced data analysts. He'd be happy to help an old colleague out. The second email came from his former manager. She wanted to pick his brain about entrepreneurship. She was thinking about making a change and valued his unique perspective. Then James, his college roommate, texted after 3 years of silence. "Bro, I always knew you'd make it. We should grab drinks and talk about some ideas I have." Even his ex-girlfriend found him on LinkedIn. Her message was strange, nostalgic, regretful, mentioning how she'd always believed in him and wondered if he ever thought about what could have been. The requests multiplied. Former colleagues wanting introductions to investors, distant relatives suddenly interested in his well-being. People who'd rendered him invisible now wanted just a moment of his time, just a small favor, just a tiny piece of the success they'd once mocked. Marcus could have ignored them all. He could have savored the vindication, the poetic justice, the reversal of fortune. Part of him wanted to. Part of him remembered every snicker, every dismissive comment, every moment he'd been made to feel small. But something deeper had changed in him during those 5 years of struggle. He'd learned that success wasn't about proving others wrong, it was about proving yourself right. He'd learned that the people who mock you are often drowning in their own fear and regret. He'd learned that bitterness is a heavy crown to wear, and forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. So Marcus did something unexpected. He responded. To some of them, not all. To Derek, he sent a polite message saying his company wasn't hiring at the moment, but wishing him well. To his former manager, he sent links to resources that had helped him. To James, he agreed to one coffee, where he listened to half-baked ideas with patience and offered honest feedback without investment. But he also set boundaries. He didn't become anyone's savior or meal ticket. He didn't let guilt or ego dictate his choices. He simply moved forward, building something meaningful, helping those who'd supported him during the dark years, and occasionally extending grace to those who hadn't. The platform continued to grow. Marcus hired people who reminded him of himself, overlooked, underestimated, burning with quiet determination. He built a company culture around resilience and empathy. He funded scholarships for freelancers in developing countries. He spoke at conferences about the intersection of technology and social impact. And sometimes, late at night in his office, Marcus would think back to that rainy Tuesday, to that conference room, to the laughter that nearly broke him. He'd think about the version of himself who'd sat in a beige cubicle, afraid and alone, choosing to continue despite the world's verdict. That version of himself had saved him. That version of himself had been right. The truth is simple and eternal. What others think of your beginning has no power over your ending. The laughter of the comfortable means nothing compared to the quiet determination of the committed. Those who mock are often those who've stopped dreaming, and they resent anyone who reminds them of their own abandoned ambitions. Marcus's story isn't unique, it's universal. In every corner of the world, there are people standing at the beginning of something beautiful while others laugh. There are dreamers in cubicles, artists in factories, entrepreneurs in dead-end jobs, all carrying secret projects and quiet hopes. Some will quit when the laughter gets too loud. Some will let the world's doubt become their own, but others, the rare, stubborn, beautiful few, will keep building in the dark, keep learning in silence, keep moving forward inch by painful inch until one day the world turns around and asks, "How did you do it?" And the answer is always the same: by starting when they laughed, by continuing when they doubted, and by arriving when they least expected. 5 years is a long time to be invisible, but it's also long enough to become inevitable. So here's the question for you. What dream are you working on in silence? What would you have done in Marcus's place when the laughter started? The people who mock your beginning often become the loudest admirers at your ending, but only if you have the courage to keep going when it hurts. Share your thoughts below. Tell me about a time you were underestimated. And if this story moved you, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that inspire, challenge, and remind you that your comeback is always bigger than your setback. Because remember, they laughed when you started, but they'll study how you finished.